What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade. Basketball analysis come to y'all with a quick video. We gonna have a little bit of fun today. We seen that the Brooklyn Nets make the trade to have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. And everybody first thought was KD. They was predicted to go to the finals from a lot of people. I wasn't one of them. And now that they have this three-headed monster of guys that can basically but your any type of way that they want to, and they're going to be virtually unstoppable because of that, and they all can play on and off the ball when it comes to shooting and scoring. It makes you wonder, what is LeBron James and Anthony Davis thinking? Um, when it comes to competing with them. Remember, LeBron was the guy that said, "What was the difference between the Warriors and Kevin Durant got Kevin Durant?" Kevin Durant put that team over the top and helped them get to three straight finals. And now he has a chance to compete with LeBron, who has already won the championship last year. And their goal was to repeat, adding Schroeder, adding Gasol, and adding Montrezl Harrell. They stacked their roster, and to me, they had the most complete roster and the best roster. And I had predicted that they will finish at the top of the NBA, which they currently is right now, for the season and repeat. But we all knew that Harden was going to be on the move. We all knew that he wasn't going to be um, in Houston the entire season. We just didn't know whether it be Philly, whether it be the Portland or Celtics. We just didn't know what team he was going to end up on, and we did know that he wanted to be in Brooklyn, and he deserved it. He went in Houston. He played his hardest. He carried them as far as he could carry them, and they should, try to trade him to a place that he wants to be because he stayed there for so long and brought them so much success. Plus, they did get a lot of picks in return, which they can build a roster and get another guy or through the draft or through trade. But it does make you wonder: do the Lakers have enough currently constructed, or are they a move away to being just as good as the Nets? Because the goal when you have LeBron and AD, especially now since they signed extensions, the goal is to win multiple titles now that they have already won one. And yeah, I do think the Lakers can compete with the Nets. I don't think the Nets are unbeatable. I don't think they're unstoppable. But I do think that they are a team with weaknesses, just like other teams. And if you game plan and you play your game the right way, you can compete with them. The problem with the Nets is, can you beat them in a 7 game series? I think that that's the toughest thing to do, knowing that they have guys that can take over and carry it and close games. It's going to be tough to beat them 4 times in a playoff series. And that's why I was thinking that about the Lakers. The only team that I really believe that the Lakers could get, a run from was the Clippers. And once the Clippers flopped, I thought the Lakers was going to win the ship because I picked them to win every round, including the finals. And that's how good that they was. And I actually was a person that said if they want to repeat, they have to put a better team together if they wanted to repeat again. And I feel like Rob Pelinka was the executive of the year. Obviously, for him being able to build the roster that he had this year and improve it while also giving them a good chance to repeat this year, which I had them doing until James Harden went to the Nets. So, you know, they have a lot of pieces that they can move if they wanted to. The problem is, will that affect their chemistry? They do match up pretty well against the Nets when it comes to having defenders, having size, having mobility, having athleticism, and having a lot of different lineups that they can throw out to combat a team like the Nets. I don't think that it's a landslide. I don't think the Lakers, if they are off, they're not far off from being just as good as the Nets, just because they do have depth now and they do have a lot of guys that can create their own shot outside of LeBron and AD. So I still do think that if the Lakers got to the finals, it's not going to be a sweep and it's not going to be over, especially if Anthony Davis played the way he played in the bubble and in the playoffs last year in the finals. They're still going to be a tough team to beat, um, because you still do have to beat them 4 times. So if I'm LeBron James, you have to take this season serious, and you want to build good habits because you know that you actually have multiple teams, including teams like the Clippers, that aren't afraid of them and will go at them and can, talent-wise, compete with them. And at the end of the day, the Nets have their own problems figuring out how they're going to run their offense, who they're going to run it through, how they're going to share the ball, and how they're going to defend. But, the Lakers have similar problems too, as they have brought in a lot of new pieces, and they're still trying to get everybody on the same page, especially defensively, which they have already, to me, took a little step back when it comes to talent, and they have to figure that out, which they can, because it just take practice and it just take communication to be able to get that done. And I think that they will be fine. I did pick Anthony Davis to be Defensive Player of the Year this year, and we will have to see how that plays out, because I don't think it's one player that has the war wrapped up, as it's not even 10, 15 games. Well, it's not 15 and 20 games yet, and that award usually take a build up for somebody to get it. But the Lakers, they shouldn't be afraid of the Nets. They should be able to feel that they can compete with them and they can play with them, kind of like when they had Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron. They was going to the finals every year, and they was competing with whoever came out. It was mostly the Warriors. Obviously, the Kevin Durant move put them over the top and made them the favorites, and that's why they beat them in 5 and swept them in 4. But it really does depend on how the Lakers play and how they're able to build their team through chemistry, and if they can figure out how to be an elite defensive team like they was last year, they can, be just as good as the Nets. If everybody's scoring, everybody's confident, everybody's defending and communicating, then they can be still dangerous to a team like the Nets, because they do have advantages over the Nets, and they do have some matchup things that they can expose. But, you never really know, because the Knicks can make more moves, because they have other guys they can trade, other guys they can move around if they want to change the roster throughout the season. But the only reason why I say that is because the Lakers can do that too. And they have done it, already this season. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how the Lakers continue to play, and if they can ever, lock down completely defensively like they have done against the Rockets, and if they can continue to have that type of force and that type of camaraderie, they're going to be fine. It's just about, actually getting there and playing the same way, and believing in your game plan, believing in your players, and allowing them to be them, but also allowing them to buy into a team concept. And if they do that, it's going to be tough to beat them also. And we already know, like we've seen with the Warriors, injuries do happen. Kevin Durant hurts his Achilles. Klay Thompson goes down with the ACL. And next thing you know, they went from being a team that should win 3 straight championships to a team that loses in the finals, just because anything can happen and nothing is guaranteed in the NBA. That's just the reality of it. Everybody thought it was going to be Clippers Lakers last year, and it was Lakers Denver. Everybody thought it would be the Bucks in the finals this last year, and it ended up being the Miami Heat who beat them in 5. You still have to play the games. You still have to get through the season, and you still do have to play your best basketball when it matters most. And you still have to beat the best teams just to get to the finals. And the Heat, the Nets and the Lakers both have to do that just to win the title. So we still basically have to see it play out. But other than that, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. That will also be in the description, the comment section below. You can also buy merchandise on my Facebook page. You can change the color of the hat, change the color of the shirt, and get it customized the way you want it to be. I also do have a spread shirt that's also in the description, in the comment section. If you want to buy merchandise that's only on there, you can also do that if you don't like what you see on Facebook. Also, feel free to comment. I read every single comment. I appreciate what you guys think, and I do read all of them, so don't be afraid to let me know what you agree or disagree with, or you just got something to say. Not only that, liking and sharing. If you don't want to buy merchandise, liking and sharing is another way you can help this channel out. Liking and sharing allows this channel to be reached and seen by more people. The more people that see it, the more people reach, the better for the channel. But also, if you're new to the channel, I upload every day, 7 days a week throughout the whole year. So if you love basketball, from basketball breakdowns of legends, players, rookies, and also Summer League coverage, Summer League breakdown, free agency talks, trade deadline talks, discussions of the hottest topics, top 10 lists of the season preview, playoff predictions. I offer all of those things. If you don't believe me, I have over 2,000 videos to prove it. Other than that, Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm signing out. And let me know what you guys think about the Nets and what you think about the Lakers possibly meeting in the finals and who you think will win. Enjoy your day.